So guys, this is kind of an introductory video of what is database and what is database management system and why we need SQL in every language, I guess, for web development, for app development, whatever. If you want to store something, you need SQL, right? So before that, you can obviously download or get my presentations from presentations.refinder.com, and you can just click on that particular presentation which you want. For now, there is only one presentation, but I hope from time to time there will be more presentations which will be available over here. So let's start our presentation. So this is the SQL course, and so first of all we need to know what is database, right? So a database is any collection of data, right? So you can see over here the phone book, shopping list, to-do list, they all are a collection of data, right? In phone book you collect the phone number as well as the name of the particular person, and then in shopping list you collect the name of the grocery items, and in to-do list you collect what to do in future times and all, right? But there is several ways to store the data, like on paper, in your mind, on a PC, on a computer, on a cloud storage, on a hard disk, pen drive, and etc., right? So basically a database means a storage where we can store the data, right? So now you may think like what is the difference between, like, which one is better, like storing data into pen and paper, or storing data on cloud storage, or in a PC or on a server? Obviously in server there are some more benefits than storing data in pen and paper. For example, let's take an example of Amazon.com, the big e-commerce platform in India, in all over the world, and a shopping list. Okay, in shopping list you can track the products which you wanna purchase, right? But in Amazon.com you can track the product reviews, purchasing order, credit cards, user details, and all, right? There can be like trillion of pieces. You don't need to write it manually, you can just put the numbers and it will automatically store. Then there will be this will be much secure than normal pen and paper, because if you lose the paper it will gone. But for cloud storage it will stay forever. And then similarly you can obviously store the data of the person who will buy from your store. You can store the data, or you can say credit card numbers, credit card details, address, phone number, and all very easily. But for shopping list there will be like a limited paper, and if you lose that paper it will gone. It will be more time consuming to write every particular name, address, phone number, and all. And there is no security obviously if that paper will lost, and whoever got that paper he will know all the details of every person. And so yeah, you can see in the last slide I write that, but computers are the great at keeping track of large amount of data or informations rather than storing them on a paper. Obviously, because in computer or in the cloud storage we get unlimited of storage, we can store whatever we want. But on pen paper, on a paper you will not get that kind of facilities, right? So now here comes what is database management system. Okay, so DBMS. A DBMS is a special software program which helps user to create and maintain a database. Okay, the database means to store the data, and if you have a large amount of data, then you need something to manage those data, right? In that case database management system comes in. Okay, so a database management system has these 6 characteristics. So it makes it easy to manage large amount of data. Then the second one is backup of every data, obviously. Then you can import and export data from one platform to another platform. Then concurrency, then interact with different programming languages. Like if you wanna interact the SQL with JavaScript, you can obviously do that. You can interact with Python, Java, and all. Then it is much secure because you cannot lose this data easily. It is highly secure. Now all the good database management system should have this CRUD, that means create, read, update, and delete features. You can take any example of any good database management system. It could contain these features, that is CRUD. Okay, so it means it can create data, it can read data, it can update data if we need to update something, and obviously it can delete a particular data if suppose there is like amazon.com and someone deleted his account, then we don't want his data to store in our database, right? So we can obviously delete that data also. And now there are two types of databases. Okay, so first one is relational database and the second one is non-relational database. So here we will learn the relational database, that is SQL, but there is a non-relational database, that is no SQL. Okay, but there are two key features of every databases. Like for relational databases, it can organize data into one or more than one table. We will learn about that in our next video. But each table has a columns and particular rows. Like each table has like number of columns and number of rows, and there is a unique key identifier for each row. Like for example, ID. Like if you take a table of employee, then there should be an employee ID which will be a key identifier for each rows, right? And for non-relational database, there are like it can organize data but not a traditional table way. Okay, it can store the key value, but it is a flexible table. So we can understand that NoSQL can store the data which is not relational. For example, if you take example of graphs, so graph is not a relational, right? So that will consider as a non-relational database. And some example of non-relational databases are like JSON, XML. So these are non-relational databases. Okay, and now the next one is database queries. So a database query is a request for a data from a database. Okay, so usually the request is to retrieve data. However, data can also be manipulated using queries. So for example, if you Google search something, okay, if you search something on Google, then that will be called as queries. When the database structure becomes more and more complex, it becomes more difficult to get a specific piece of information which we want. In that case, we will just search for that, and that is called as database queries. Okay, so yeah, that's it for this video. Now in the next video we will create some tables using SQL, okay, for this course. And in case if you want to know how I make these kind of presentations using HTML, CSS and JS, then you can obviously go to my course section in my website DeepFinder, and then click on this presentation slide website. It will be absolutely free, and you can learn everything from scratch. And yeah, this is the presentation which is made by HTML, CSS and JS, and you can get all the presentations in presentations.refinder.com website. Okay, thank you.